Cooper. Cooper with a great chance. Cooper must make it 4. He does.
The Full-Time Review Show is supported by and brought to you as always by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And last week, my other sponsor, Craig International, were in attendance in Abu Dhabi at the ADIPEC conference. And they would like to wish everybody a massive thank you for coming along to their stand and saying hello. They had a fantastic time and it was great to meet you all. Yesterday, pre-kick-off, Pataudry remembered those that fell. It was an immaculately observed minute silence to remember our war dead. And come the 90 plus 7 minutes, Aberdeen came away with another fantastic victory. This time, beating Dundee by 4-1. It now means that we are 20 games unbeaten in the league, stretching back to the 13th of March. And it means this: for 24 hours at least, we went back to the top of the table. But after Celtic beat Kilmarnock this afternoon, they've leapfrogged us to go back to the top on goal difference. Rangers just about sneaked past Hearts only 10 or 15 minutes ago. What a remarkable start to the season. Hi everybody, how you doing? A very warm welcome to Ali Beg ABTV this Sunday night. Well, how good was that yesterday? First half not so great, let's be honest, let's be a little bit transparent. But second half, wow, absolutely phenomenal, and no panic when they got a goal back. We all said in the preview show that it was vital that the guys bounced back, that they showed that last week was just a wee bump. Oh my goodness, what character, what strength of character to come through this game and to come away with that sort of scoreline. Absolutely phenomenal. And the fans yesterday, again, played their part, as Jimmy said in his post-match interview. Bravo to every single one of you who were at Pataudry yesterday, because again, the noise generated undoubtedly helped the boys get across the line. It was an absolutely huge win. Dimitar Mitov's save. Whoa, dearie me. What was Gavin Malloy doing? Oh my Lord, what was he doing? Anyway, what a fantastic save. What a vital save just before the break. Because that goes in. It's a completely different game, obviously. But yeah, vital. And what a signing he's proven to be. Now, I'm sure if you were with me on Friday, you would have heard me say that after this international break, we're going to be introducing a football analyst to the show, a gentleman called Andrew Budge. Who is a brilliant analyst. If you haven't checked him out, go on to X. Andrew Budge is his name. And he's just a lover of the game. But what I want to do, because I'm so impressed by his analysis, that I want to give him a platform to be able to showcase what he can do. So he's going to become our sort of analytical expert after the international break, where he's actually going to be joining us on the review show and breaking down tactically where the game was won, or, God forbid, if any game was lost. He sent me a few notes this morning, which I found really interesting, particularly about the first half yesterday, where he pointed out that at times we looked very vulnerable on transition, and that we were very guilty yesterday of giving the ball away cheaply, and that we were giving their danger men too much time on the ball, like, for example, Lyle Cameron. On a positive note, Andrew was very quick to talk about the substitutions, as is everybody online. It seems to be the sort of general consensus that Yumi just gets it absolutely spot on when it comes to his substitutions, and how more direct we were when Shaden came on, when Vinny came on. I'll come to Vinny in just a moment. So many positives to take from that second half. Much more direct, much more in control, much better in possession as well. Let's get on to the team news, because the manager was forced to make a couple of changes. He made two, in fact. So Nielsen was out. He called in sick, actually. That was the reason that he missed the game. So Ante Palaversa came in, scored a second goal for the Dons. And Jamie McGrath was out for Leighton Clarkson, who made his 100th appearance for the Dons. And the reason that Jamie was missing is that because the management took a decision to let him have this surgery on the head knock that he had against Ross County. Remember that big lump that he had on his head after that knock? So it requires minor surgery. They just wanted to get that done and dusted and get it out of the way. Hence the reason why Jamie was missing yesterday. A lot of debate about Vinny's goal, the third goal. So just before we came on air, I actually timed it. So from the second he stepped onto the pitch to the second that the ball hit the back of the net was exactly 31 seconds. What vision from Kevin Nisbet, who, when he came on yesterday, just looked more match fit, sharper, and if he continues the way that he is, he's going to be a fantastic acquisition for us this season, particularly as we head into the sort of the Christmas and festive period where games are coming thick and fast. So absolutely delighted for Vinny. I saw a couple of really funny tweets today. You know, he did that celebration, and there was one that really made me howl. Was a guy did a dream cloud with a sticky toffee pudding in the cloud. Oh man, that really made me chuckle today. So that was the team. Good team that he put out. This is what Yimmy had to say after the game. He says, "We talked in the dressing room. This is at halftime. Adjusted small things. No panic, but looking to find better rhythm inside the game and more stability in how to defend the transitions. I think the players answered really well, and that says a lot about the character of the players. And then, of course, we scored important goals. Again, the players who come onto the pitch, make a huge impact too. So it's nice to see how the players and the team, the spirit that they have." Match stats for you. 55.8% of possession. 18 shots in total, of which 8 were on target. This I found quite interesting. So 82 passes we completed in the final third. And overall, touches inside their 18-yard box was actually very healthy. 34 touches inside their 18-yard box. So overall, the stats tell a picture, tell a story, that it was, after the first half, it was a very decent shift put in by the lads. Right, now just before I get to your comments, once this camera unfreezes, there you go. Any danger? Why do you do that? You piece of trash. You're going in the bin. So tomorrow, you know this question and answer feature that I do with the ex-players, where I ask them questions and they can answer it as they see fit. Quick fire is the way that it works. So tomorrow, I'm chatting with Neil Simpson first thing in the morning. So I thought what I would do is I'd actually make a little live show around the feature. So I'm thinking that I'll do the feature tomorrow, I'll get it all edited up, and then, I don't know, say Wednesday night, we come on air, we go live, and we throw the feature out there, and just gives you a chance to just chat amongst yourselves about Neil Simpson, your memories of Neil, you know, what sort of player that he was, what he brought to the football club, what an ambassador he's been for us over the years. Don't forget all the work that he did in the community before he stepped into the academy, all that kind of stuff. So I just thought it'd be quite nice to now start doing live shows in and around these Legends quickfire question and answer features. So look out for that on my social media pages, but I'm penciling in Wednesday night, 19:03 p.m. And the camera. Stop it. Right. Let's get you on, see how you are. Oh, lots of you on tonight. Fantastic. So Gary Milne came on first and he says, Jimmy and his wonder subs strike again. Come on, you Reds. Duncan Shan says, good evening, Dandies. Great result yesterday. Stand free. John Grant says, good evening, Dandies. The impact of our subs have been amazing this season. However, the defence are making basic mistakes and need to improve. Very impressed by Nesbitt yesterday. Nisbet. Gavin Wilson says, good evening all. We hoped, we longed, we yearned for the right response, and they delivered. Pretty uninspiring first half. Mitov's save was fantastic. I was shouting to Malloy to just boot the ball out. Look, I don't have too much of a go at the boy because I think he's been absolutely phenomenal. I think he's been superb for us. But in a situation like that, which I'm sure he will learn from, it's very simple. Just clear your lines. It doesn't matter where you put it. If you put it out for a corner, a throw in, it doesn't matter. Just clear your lines. Old-fashioned football sometimes works wonders in the modern day game. Can't be bothered says, evening all, can't wait for this team to put a complete 90-minute performance together. We will give someone a good spanking. Hopefully at Ibrox. A. Jenkins 1701 is on. How you doing? He says, what a great second half. Yet again, the manager makes the changes in the second half and we blew Dundee away. Who is to say we can't keep the undefeated run going for a few more games? So don't forget, international break now. And then we come back with 3 rather tricky away games, starting against St Mirren on the 23rd on a Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. Then the following Tuesday, we're away at Hibs. And then into the 1st of December, we've got another tricky game away at Hearts. And then I think we've got Celtic after that at Pittodrie. So some very tricky games coming up. 3 back-to-back away games. AJ Jenkins came back to say Shinnie was immense. And at last, we got the goals we deserved. You could tell Nisbet was up for it and wanted a goal. Colin Gale says it's incredible to see the anticipation of the crowd when Morris gets the ball. It's some change in a matter of months. Brilliant ball by Morris and a great finish from Nisbet for the final goal. It's a great point you make, Colin, because the behind-the-camera exclusive goal, the content that the football club post on their X, when you see Shading getting the ball, you see everyone in the South Stand rising to their feet. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love it. It's if you get a chance, if you've not seen it yet, go on to Aberdeen's X and just have a wee look at it. Kaiser's on, saying fit like. Gavin Wilson says, Vinny and Duke not falling down like they were, and as a result, I felt we did better. Gordon Keith Ritchie says, good evening all. Poor first half penalty save was crucial. We played a lot better in the second half, and should the doubters, we have something special to say. Kaiser has said, it looks like we'll have to beat Celtic ourselves. Nobody else is capable of even scoring against them. Why do opposition teams not go out with the same intent against Celtic and Sevco like they did against us? Dundee camped in at Parkhead and hoped to come away with a narrow loss. Against us, they're full-out attack. I tell you what, if Marley Watkins had put that chance away today when he hit the post, I would like to have seen how Celtic would have responded to that. Gavin Wilson says, love how Mitov celebrates. It's great, isn't it? Colin Gale says, I've always liked Jack Milne. I really hope he gets his chance to appear regularly in the team. Thought he did really well when he came on yesterday, Colin. The Gallo Glass says, great save, strange penalty. They were both at it, and most of the contact seemed to be when they were both off the pitch. That ref is a well-known supporter of a certain team from Glasgow, allegedly. Kaiser has said, Malloy is guilty of far too many mistakes at the moment. Good potential, but time for McDonald to come in. That's just his opinion, he says. Good evening, Dandies. Great result yesterday from Suze. Delighted that we're still unbeaten in the league. Let's keep it going. Right. Where are you all? So, sorry guys, just bear with me while I bring this bar all the way to the top. Erica says, evening everyone, great result yesterday. First half wasn't as good, but second half was 100% better. JT must have really kicked his players' backsides at half-time. We hope we can keep going with these wins. Sousa says, don't forget to hit the old like button, please, troops. Luminous Reality says opposition fans looking for the bubble to have burst will be disappointed if as Jimmy says there is an identity, then there may be bumps in the road, but we keep going and we keep believing. Luminous Reality came back to say, very impressed with Nisbet and Morris. Think they have to start our next game. Susan Casey is on, saying, good evening, Dandies. What a difference the second half was. And another masterclass in substituting from Yimmy. Can't remember him doing a defensive sub unless it's like for like, and that pass from Nisbet. I have to say, I think a journalist actually put that out on X today, that Yimmy has not made one defensive-minded substitution, which is phenomenal. Paul Hannon is on. Paul, I'm delighted that you've come on. I'll come to you in just a second. He says, we're like a team of two halves these days. Need to change to the full game in full control, but great result. So, Paul, thank you so much for sending me through all those videos yesterday. I got all of them. I tried to respond to you on Messenger, but for some reason it wouldn't allow me to respond to you. So I was getting a wee bit frustrated that I couldn't get a hold of you because I didn't want you to think that I wasn't in receipt of your videos. I most certainly was. And thank you so much. And it was Paul's video at the top of the show that you watched of the minute silence. So Paul, thank you so much. And again, I don't understand why I couldn't get a hold of you yesterday. David Gold is on, wishing everyone a good evening. Can't be bothered. It says, Ali, I'm wondering how Ewan Cameron is getting on. Scott W, I'm also delighted that you're on, Scott. I'll come to you in just a moment as well. He says, a brilliant second half. I honestly feel someone is going to get a hammering off us one of these days. So, Scott, I know you said that I didn't have to, but I absolutely do. So, on the preview show, a lot of you had noticed that we started at 1903. And I'm sure Kaiser won't mind me saying this because Kaiser very kindly dropped me a wee note. So I mistakenly said that it was Kaiser's idea to start at 1903. It wasn't Kaiser's idea. It was actually Scott W's idea to start the show at 1903. So Scott, I send you my humble apologies. I know that we've spoken privately, and I am terribly sorry and terribly embarrassed about that. But Kaiser, thank you for coming on and being so honest and being so transparent. And Scott, thank you for being a good sport. So Neom709 says, evening dandies, didn't see that coming after the first half. Sore throat today, but what a bounce in the shed. David Horn is wishing everyone a good evening. West Coast Dawn says, hello Reds, what a great second half. What a manager. Paul Donaldson is wishing everyone a good night. He says, Jimmy seems to make the right substitutions at the right time. Immediate impact from Kevin Nisbet, making sure the ball was still for the free kick. Brilliant pass for Vinny to score. Barry Cool is here. How are we doing, Barry? He says, totally forgot about Friday's show. Tut, tut. Yesterday again was a game of two halves. I think the pen save was massive for us. Second half, we blew them away. Kaiser, nice. He says, Nisbet's ball to Vinny was sublime. It was like something out of a Jim Bet show reel. Jim Bet. Martin Smith says, another great result, but once again, we get a full 90-minute performance. It will be immense. I can't wait for this full 90-minute performance. Grant Stewart says, good evening, dandies. Strength builds from the back. What a keeper we've got in Mittoff. Alan Smart says, another well-deserved win. I'm a little bit concerned we're collecting quite a few yellow cards. Ruby, Nicky and Jack must be getting close to suspension. Not sure how much cover we've got. It's a good point. Stuart Cleary says, great second half display. Murray had better of Malloy the whole game, but he does love to score a goal against us. Chilling is on, wishing everyone a good evening. Graham Buchan says, hi guys, I was worried about the reaction after the hiding we got last Saturday, but in the second half, wow, just wow. This team have the makings of a great team. The Mad Ferret says, Morris just gets better and better with each game. Long may it continue. Andrew Budge came on to say good evening. He says, I thought Malloy and Rubicic were excellent throughout. Malloy was unfortunate with the penalty, should have just cleared his lines, but he'll learn from it. Martin Smith says, JT has instilled a desire to play quickly and with purpose. Brilliant by Nisbet to take a free kick quickly. So many of you are talking about, the mental strength that we showed yesterday, and particularly the second half performance. Patrick Doherty just saying, what a way to bounce back from last weekend. And he says, which is a good point, still looking to score more deep into added time, speaks volume of the mentality of this squad. Michael McCafferty says, I'm sure with his tongue placed firmly in his cheek. He says, fit like Ali. The wife likes the new all black look. She's waiting for you to deliver her a box of milk tray. Let me tell you, Michael, she'd be a very lucky girl if I did. David Gall says, the transformation of Shady Mo is amazing. A player I look forward to seeing now. I have to be honest, I'm sure there may be one or two of you on here who may have absolutely no idea what we're talking about. It's the guy that delivered the box of milk tray. You're going to have to Google or go on. Once you finish the show, just Google the man that delivered milk tray. I'm showing my age now. I'm old enough to remember that. That's so good. Bruce Strother says, yet again, Yumi making perfect subs and minor tactical changes. Also, squad players making a huge impact. Colin Strachan says, fantastic win. Need to get more time for Vinny. He's got goals in him. Graham Barron is on saying, good evening everyone, brilliant second half. Vinny's goal was excellent and very well placed by Nisbet. Hard few games coming up. This break has come at the right time to recharge those batteries. Michael Taylor says, good evening Ali and fellow Dons fans. Hope we're all fine. Yumi's tactical switches once again proved to be spot on and we ended up winning convincingly. So, Graham came on and has asked Andrew Budge, who will be our analyst going forward, as I said, the small changes that Yumi made, because second half was miles better without an obvious tactical change. So, if I can have my tuppence for just a moment. In fact, I think JJ Bull said something of the same. He's another football analyst, JJ Bull, big Aberdeen fan. What I noticed yesterday was that Jack and Nicky got a little bit further forward and started supporting more sort of further infield. Because if you noticed in the first half that the boys were bombing up, but having to get straight back again and not sort of coming inside. I think, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but I felt that they were getting the ball sort of further inside the field of play and were supporting our wingers. And again, if you look at the stats and how we're scoring goals this season, that's where the majority of the goals are coming from. Is either the winger and then the fullback coming forward, supporting each other, overlapping, getting the balls across, cutting the balls back, all that sort of stuff. But Graham, this is something that Andrew and I are going to be doing sort of more in depth. We're going to be putting animation up, graphics, all that kind of stuff to show you, which I hope you will find really interesting going forward. Paul Hannon says, my wife Roseanne is watching your show with me just now. Thinks she's loving the dandies just as much as me these days. She's a keeper, Paul. She's a keeper. Colin Massier says, look at that pass to Nisbet before the foul that led to the free kick. The confidence shown not just to pass the ball back to the keeper, but play it forward, particularly after losing a goal. Stanley is on, wishing everyone a good evening. Barry Cole says, I thought Duke was on fire yesterday. Neil Simpson is on. saying, hi Ali and fellow Dans. I was named after Neil Simpson, a great player and a guy I admire greatly. Give him my regards, stand free, and I got the first goal scorer and correct scorer. Well done, fella. Hope you put a wee cheeky bet on it. I'm delighted to see so many of you on tonight. It's absolutely brilliant. A lot of you are talking about how well Vinny played and how much happier he looks playing for us at the moment as well. Kirstein's come on, she said, I'm afraid I too am old enough to remember the milk tray man. The musical box says, all because the lady loves milk tray. Kaiser says, was it Roger Moore? No, it wasn't, fella, but it was a bloody good looking chap. Sousa says, credit to Dave Cormack and the team. He's learned a lot since taking over. The atmosphere around the club is probably the best I've seen it. I saw a really interesting stat today. I think it came from, is it Pye and Bovril? Is that the guy who it is? I think it's him. If it's not, then I offer my humble apologies. But I saw a post where it said that this is the first time that we've had 19,000 fans plus for the fourth time in a row since the 1940s post-war. How amazing is that? And from what I understand, the Celtic game, which is our next home game at the beginning of next month, is rapidly selling out and no doubt will be a sellout, which will be our fifth game in a row. Is that right? Fifth game in a row, yeah. Which, wow. It's absolutely astonishing, isn't it? Graham Gibb says, thanks, Ali. Looking forward to your analysis with Mr. Budge. There is a real buzz these days in the city being sparked by the team. Atmosphere in the city was great last night. So Andrew's come on to answer your question, Graham. He's basically said, I'd echo your thoughts, Ali. He says, McGee and Lakechi did a good job of pinning our fullbacks in the first half. Mackenzie and Devlin managed to hold positions higher up in the second half, which helped. Oh, we're getting it tonight, let me tell you. We're getting it from all angles tonight. So Sandra McPherson came on and she said, I used the video from Friday, the preview show, to let the grandkids know we were going to the Red Shed. And she says, we loved it in brackets. My daughter then says, I know him, about me, and said, aye, Bad Boys Inc. And apparently she was beyond excited. Graham Klein says the boost to the club's budget by selling out 5 weeks in a row will help massively. So I'm going to call it a night, guys. And I also saw an article in the newspaper this week talking about a particular bar in Aberdeen that is reaping the benefits of us selling out all our games at the moment because, you know, the bars have become an awful lot busier. And again, there is now this continued argument to keep, you know, if the club is still going to pursue the new stadium project, to keep it within reach of the city centre, so that the local businesses who cater to football fans continue to do well and continue to prosper. And I think it's absolutely fantastic and I think it's hugely exciting, and it just goes to show that if the team are one, the city is one. And I'd also like to point out, somebody came on to me about and I totally respect this opinion. I don't overly agree with it, but I totally respect what he was trying to say to me, because he was talking to me about respect that I was trying to convey about fans. And in my titles, I've got a little line that says "One City," and this chap believed that what I was doing by saying "One City" was ignoring the fans from the Shire. That was absolutely not the intention by having those words. Those words were quite simply an intention to say that we are a one city football club. I appreciate we've got Cove Rangers, I get that, but I'm talking top end. We are a one city football club. And it was absolutely, and it didn't even cross my mind to think that I personally would never think of fans from the Shire to games from the Shire. I am a Shire Aberdeen fan. So I would never, ever forget. And if that was the impression that you got from me, I offer you my apologies. But it absolutely was not the intention to do that. So I hope you don't mind me clearing that up. So guys, thank you so much for coming on. I really hope you enjoyed the show. Just before we say goodnight, please don't forget... Press the old like button. If you've not already subscribed, I'd be absolutely thrilled. So keep an eye out for this Neil Simpson special live show. If you weren't with us at the top of the show, I'm interviewing him tomorrow to do this quick fire question and answer feature. And I've decided going forward that I'm going to turn these features into live shows. So I'll get the show done. We'll get the show recorded tomorrow, and then we'll do a live show to show you the feature, probably on Wednesday night. So just keep an eye on my socials for the timing of that. But it will probably be 19:03 on Wednesday night. Right, guys, take good care of yourselves. Have a fantastic couple of days, and I'll see you on Wednesday night. Stand free.